There is a statue that has stopped people in their tracks for thousands of years, not only because it is beautiful, though it is, because something about it is true. Shiva Nataraja, a figure dancing in the middle of fire, creation and destruction happening simultaneously in every direction, and the face completely calm. The stillness of someone for whom chaos and peace are the same. And how is that possible? That question is the entire teaching. Seemingly two separate phenomena, an internal stillness and external tumultuous activity. For this, the ancient teachers of Kashmir had a name. The stillness, consciousness, Shiva. The activity, the energy, Shakti. Not a goddess to be worshipped from a distance, or a concept to be memorized, or an energy that belongs to one tradition and not another. The living power of consciousness itself, the aliveness without which awareness would be real but unable to move, create, feel, love, or become anything at all. The ancient image is precise. Shiva, pure consciousness, without Shakti, energy, is a corpse. Present, real, undeniable, and completely unable to do anything with its own presence. Like a musician who knows every note that has ever been written, but has lost the capacity to move a single figure. The knowledge is real. The music never plays. Shakti is the capacity to play, to express. She is not separate from Shiva. She is not added to him from somewhere outside. She is what Shiva is when consciousness discovers its own aliveness. When awareness begins to move within itself. When the stillness becomes not dead, but charged the way silence before a symphony. It is not empty, but full of every note that is about to exist, coiled and waiting, more concentrated in that single breath of silence than in anything the music will produce, in pure potentiality. Nataraja, Shiva as the cosmic dancer, the dance of creation and dissolution happening in every direction simultaneously, every form arising and dissolving. The universe is being created and destroyed in the same eternal movement. And at the center of it all, a face, not a face of effort, or a face of concentration, or control, or management of the chaos. A face of absolute peace. The same face you would find on the deepest meditator, in the deepest silence. Nataraja, not stillness on one side and movement on the other. Nataraja is the discovery that the deepest stillness and the most alive creative power are not two things. They are one reality simultaneously expressing itself as both. The eye of the storm, the peace that does not require the storm to stop, the calm that is not the absence of movement, but the source of it. This resolves the deepest misunderstanding in the entire history of spiritual seeking. The belief that awakening means withdrawal, that the more still you become, the less alive you become, that consciousness and creativity are in tension, that spirit and matter are opponents in some ancient war, that the wise man resolves by choosing spirit and withdraws from the world, leaving matter behind. Nataraja says otherwise. The most alive thing in existence and the most still thing in existence are the same thing, wearing two faces at the same time. And here is what this means practically in a human life, in this body, and in this moment. Every human being in every tradition already knows Shakti, energy. They simply may not have called it that. The impulse that wakes an artist at 2 in the morning with an image that cannot wait until dawn. The love that arrives without asking permission and reorganizes an entire life in a single meeting. The grief that breaks something open and leaves a person more alive than they were before the breaking. The anger that rises not from a wound but from clarity that says this is not right and I will not pretend that it is. All of it, Shakti. Consciousness in motion, awareness expressing itself through the instrument of life, human life. Now here is where the silence and the ancient tradition teaching arrive at the same place. The body is not separate from this power. The body is this power taking temporary form. Every cell in the body is responding right now, in this moment, to the quality of consciousness moving through it. When a person lives in chronic fear, stress, chronic contradiction, the body reflects that frequency. The cells receive that signal. The nervous system organizes itself around that state. And when something shifts, when the inner state begins to align with something deeper than the surface story, the body changes. This is not a metaphor, this is biology. The radio and its frequency, the frequency of consciousness moving through the body, is not separate from the life in that body. Change the quality of what is moving through you, change the frequency, and what you attract, what you create, what becomes possible begins to change. This is not magic. This is Shakti recognized and worked with, rather than a life ignored or suppressed. And here is the deepest point, the one the Nataraja image is always pointing toward. You do not have to choose between being alive in the world and being at peace within. The person who has found their own eye of the storm, who has touched the stillness at the center of their own experience, does not become less engaged with life. They become more alive in it, more creative, more present, more able to let the full power of consciousness move through them without resistance. The way Nataraja dances without the face changing, without the center moving, without the peace being disturbed, even by a single step of the cosmic dance. There is a seed, silent beneath the earth, so still you might think nothing is happening. But inside that stillness, something is breaking open. A root moves downwards. A shoot moves upward. The stillness was never empty. It was full of life, waiting to move. The seed does not become alive. It reveals the life that was already there. This is Shakti. The silence becoming movement. Consciousness becoming life. Shakti had never been absent. She had simply been looking for the stillness in the wrong place, as though the eye of the storm was somewhere other than the center of the storm itself, as though Nataraja's peace was available only when the dancing stopped. The dancing never stops. Creation never pauses. The universe is being born and dissolved in this very moment, in the breath, moving in thought, arising in the feeling, passing through the body. As you listen to this, all of it Shakti, all of it consciousness, discovering its own aliveness through you, through this body, this breath, this ordinary and extraordinary moment. Shiva without Shakti is a corpse, but you are not a corpse. Something in you is moving. Something in you is alive. Something in you has been reaching, creating, loving, breaking open, beginning again. Since before you knew even what to call it, that something is not separate from what you are. It is what you are. Awake, alive, dancing, with a face as still as the deepest meditation, at the center of everything.